The IRGC has warned against any hostile move inside Iran, as fears of a wider ground war continue to grow. Iran's Revolutionary Guard says any military miscalculation would trigger a decisive response. The IRGC says its forces remain on full combat readiness amid escalating regional tensions. Iran's latest warning underscores the growing risk of a broader regional conflict if hostilities intensify. Reports of possible U.S. ground operations have kept tensions high as Iran issued a fresh military warning against any further escalation in the region. IRGC Ground Forces Chief Mohammad Karami warned enemies against any miscalculation in northwestern Iran, saying Tehran was fully prepared for any confrontation. Karami said Iranian ground forces remained ready to confront both foreign enemies and what he described as terrorist groups threatening the country's security. The commander made the remarks during a visit to operational areas in northwestern Iran, according to Iranian outlet Tabnak. Karami said the Hamzeh Seyed al-Shohada base had gained years of combat experience and remained responsible for defending Iran's northwestern frontiers. He said the force combined religious commitment, modern military technology and scientific capabilities to maintain a high level of operational readiness. The IRGC commander warned that any hostile move against Iran would be met with what he described as a decisive and overwhelming military response. Karami said Iranian forces were prepared to turn the region into a mass graveyard for mercenaries if any conflict was imposed on the country. Amid the warning, Iranian officials claimed U.S. forces had already reshuffled military bases across the region following recent Iranian missile strikes. Mohsen Razori warned that any U.S. aircraft carrier or warship attempting to use a new route would become a target if tensions escalated further.
The wave-like attacks became more precise and intense. Missiles and drones were launched toward the U.S. base to such an extent that Kuwait was turned into ruins. Most forces have been displaced from there. In Erbil, more than 40 to 50 B-52 aircraft had arrived, and many forces were moved out of Erbil. More importantly, the CENTCOM command, which was in Qatar, first moved to Jordan. We also hit Jordan severely, so the commander moved from Jordan to Israel. What does this mean? It means that the apparatus for an imminent battle is being set up so that when they come to the Strait of Hormuz, they can command and provide support from nearby, both command and support for targeting operations in the Strait of Hormuz. Now there is no ceasefire, but our attacks have meaning. For example, we will by no means allow a second corridor to open in the Strait of Hormuz. Even if they bring an aircraft carrier, we will hit the carrier. If they bring military forces, we will hit them. For now, we threaten the ships not to go. Fortunately, many ships listen to our threats and turn back, and we do not engage. But some, who are clearly under complete pressure from the Americans, come. Well, they sustain some damage, and then they turn back themselves. I heard that yesterday, apparently, Mr. Trump said, we had an operation larger than World War II. His reference is to the very thing I am talking about. Yes, you're dreaming, Mr. Trump. You were in a dream and a fantasy. But why wasn't it implemented? Why didn't your people set foot on the ground? No, I cannot say it has been completely ruled out. But firstly, it has become very weak and the probability has decreased. Secondly, even if it is carried out, it will be limited, for example, in the form of a raid. Forcing Ukraine to launch a ship attack, they also got in touch saying that no, this was a mistake. We made a mistake. Well, we are currently investigating because we are prepared to strike 3 points in Ukraine. However, after they said it was a mistake, since we are not truly seeking to expand the war and we do not want to incite warmongering. Trump's third war was because they said, we will open the Strait of Hormuz, go in and seize Iran's oil and gas, KAG, and so on. In northern Iran, we deploy air defense. There are only a few bridges and roads leading from north to south, most of which pass through highlands. Therefore, we take Iran's oil and gas, and the management of the Strait of Hormuz falls into our hands, removing it from Iran's control. Now, would the world tolerate this? Would even the Europeans tolerate the global economy's choke point being in America's hands? Would China tolerate it? This itself could have been a catalyst for World War III.
Another day, another mysterious strike has shaken commercial shipping in the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz. Who is targeting commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz as another cargo ship reports being struck by an unknown projectile? Yet another vessel has come under attack as tensions continue to rise over control and security in the Strait of Hormuz. A cargo vessel near Oman's coast has reported being hit by an unknown projectile, prompting an urgent investigation by the UK Maritime Trade Operations. United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations statement read, and I quote, "UKMTO has received a report of an incident 20 nautical mile northeast of Al-Kasab, Oman. A cargo vessel has broadcasted on VHF 16 that they have been hit by an unknown projectile. Authorities are investigating. Vessels are advised to transit with caution and report any suspicious activity to UKMTO." Unquote. Another ship, another mysterious blast. Who is trying to send a message through attacks on commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz? Is the Strait of Hormuz still a vital global trade route, or is it rapidly turning into one of the world's most dangerous maritime flashpoints? Projectiles, explosions, and growing panic at sea. Who really controls security in the strategically crucial Strait of Hormuz now? Linked reopening the Strait of Hormuz to renewed US-Iran negotiations, according to the Associated Press. The proposal also called for a halt to military attacks across the region as part of a broader diplomatic initiative, AP reported. According to the Associated Press, the plan envisaged reopening the Strait of Hormuz as part of a wider package aimed at reducing tensions. A regional official involved in the mediation efforts said the proposal had been presented to both Washington and Tehran. The official told the Associated Press that no final agreement had yet been reached between the United States and Iran. The official added that mediation efforts were continuing as diplomats worked to narrow the remaining differences between the two sides. The Strait of Hormuz remains one of the world's most critical oil choke points amid continuing tensions in the Gulf region. Notably, President Trump has delayed or cancelled planned military strikes against Iran at least 10 times since February 28. March 21. 48-hour ultimatum. Trump threatened strikes on Iran's electrical infrastructure and issued a 48-hour deadline. March 23, 5-day delay. He postponed the planned strikes, citing progress toward a possible diplomatic resolution. March 26, 11-day extension. The deadline for attacks on Iranian electrical facilities was extended by another 11 days. April 5 to 8. Mediation pause. Strike deadlines were repeatedly extended and suspended during talks that led to a temporary ceasefire. May 19, 1 hour away. Trump said he was an hour away from ordering a major strike before deciding to postpone it. June 11, tonight strike cancelled. He threatened a major attack tonight, but called it off just hours later as negotiations resumed. Late June, early July. Posture adjustments. Military plans were repeatedly revised following the collapse of the June 17 Interim Memorandum of Understanding. August 2, 2-week suspension. Trump paused a new round of planned infrastructure strikes with less than 2 hours remaining before his self-imposed deadline. Condition for the pause. Reopening the Strait of Hormuz remained the key condition, with military action still possible if negotiations failed.